So here's another fun story from my career of being an agent. So back in like 2008, I had a draft pick by the Washington Nationals by the name of Adrian Nieto, who went to American Heritage High School in Plantation, Florida. I actually went to that high school. And Eric Hosmer, Nick Castellanos, Nick Travieso, Brandon Siddell, Devin Marrero, this was a factory back then. They won the state tournament. It was awesome. So Nieto is a fifth round pick. He was projected to go higher, and then throughout the draft process, because of injuries or whatever, he did not go high enough where we expected before the draft, and the Nationals take him without calling us in the fifth round. So we didn't agree to anything. So I didn't know what they were going to offer. The slot was like 180 at the time. So we don't really make contact with the team, and back then they had a signing deadline that was later. So he held out. But that year, the Nationals had five guys in the top five rounds that they hadn't signed, that they waited till the deadline. They tried to leverage all of us against each other. So me realizing I was the low man on the totem pole, I tried to get my guy signed first to scoop everybody. The first rounder that year ended up not signing. So Jim Bowden calls me with the front office while I'm in California visiting Darren Ford on a West Coast trip right after the draft and during the signing deadline period, like a week before the deadline. He calls me at like 6 a.m. LA time, unplanned. The whole front office is on this call. Bob Boone, Dana Brown, Rizzo, everybody. And on speaker, Jim tries to embarrass like 26-year-old young agent me in front of everybody. And he goes, Josh, we want to know where you are with respect to Adrian Nieto's negotiation at this point. We just want to hear it from you. And I said, well, you guys are at 180. He's looking for 500. He's comfortable going to school. I respect your standpoint, your point of view of him not being worth that right now. And, agree to disagree. He's going to go to school. And Jim, explodes. This leprechaun explodes on me and starts screaming at me. He doesn't know me. He just starts screaming at me. I'm laughing. And he's like, fuck you. We're going to redraft him in 3 years when he has a real agent like Scott Boras. Who the hell are you? You're ruining everything, screaming at me. And I just let him do it. And at the very end, there's a pause. And I had comedic timing even back then. And I said, okay, that's cool, Jim. Good luck with your legal problems. And I hung up. And at the time, he was being investigated with Jose Rijo for skimming signing bonuses. And, he still is probably should have gotten in trouble for that, more. I can't believe he has a job in baseball after that shit. So anyway, I wish him well in the most sarcastic comment ever. And then I get a call from Dana Brown laughing, saying, that was hilarious, but, you shouldn't have done that. And, whatever. I don't care. I should have done that. And then I'm figuring the kid's going to school. So I call the kid, Nieto, and I go, you're going to school. This is what happened, whatever. The day before the signing deadline, Mike Rizzo calls me for the first time in my life. And he goes, hey, Josh, this is Mike Rizzo of the Washington Nationals. I've been charged with taking over the Adrian Nieto negotiations because Jim doesn't want to talk to you ever again. So here's what we got. We got double the slot. We got 360. And I said, okay, that's hilarious. And no, the kid wants 500, but can you do 400? He goes, no, we got the double slot and that's it. And I said, well, do me a favor. Can you do this? Can you do 376, 500? And he goes, what the hell is that number? I said, can you do that number? He goes, why do you want it? And I said, do you want the honest answer or do you want the BS agent answer? And he goes, I want the honest answer. I always prefer that. That's what Rizzo said. And I go, well, truthfully, last year there was a local agent who had a kid named Danny Rams who went in the fourth round, a round ahead of my kid, Nieto, and signed for 375. So if Nieto goes around later and I get him $1,000 more, I'm going to make that agent look stupid for having a kid that was drafted higher than my guy who got less. And then Rizzo asked me, was that for you or is that for the kid? Does he want the money or is this spite 100% for the agent? I said, oh, it's 100% me. The kid doesn't know. He goes, I'll give it to you for being honest. So I got the money and that was it. And then a few years later, Jim was out and then Rizzo took over and that's life. Jim's in media and every time I see him, I flip him off because he's a clown. I call him Ralph. And he should be ridiculed at every turn. He should not be working in baseball, in my opinion. He is everything that is wrong with the sport. He was wrong for the sport when he was working behind the scenes. He's not respected by anybody, and I cannot believe he draws a paycheck for national media. Screw this guy. I will roast him for free every time I see him. That's the story. This clown's an idiot. Later.